Alright, so we're going to get in here and try to help Maurice out. See if we can't solve his key issue. Just going to wait for him to get in here, and we'll start addressing issues. In the meantime, Maurice was having issues with his key turning, if I'm understanding correctly. So we're going to see if we can't figure out his issue and get him back to being able to start his car. I'm just waiting for him to join. My truck is filthy. It needs to have a little detail work. I'm going to have to contact a buddy and have him come and detail the truck out. Definitely dirty. It's in massive need of a detailing. I no longer have the Lincoln anymore, which is what the No Key Detected video was shot on. Hey Maurice, how are you, bud? Okay, so thanks for popping in, and let's see if we can get you figured out here. If I'm understanding you correctly, your key is in the ignition and it just won't turn forward, correct? Kind of like this. At least I think I'm understanding you correctly with that. Okay, but your key won't move at all, right? What's up, Spike? Trying to help somebody out here. So your key's in the ignition, but it won't turn, right? You just can't get your ignition to move like this. Okay, and your steering wheel moves freely, or is it locked like this? Because if your steering wheel is locked like this, your ignition won't usually turn. So if your steering wheel is locked like that, you kind of have to, let's see if I can set this down the right way. You have to turn your wheel a little bit, and then you can free up the steering wheel to move. And then your second option is with your key just barely in the ignition, right? You can't get it to move forward. Try putting your vehicle in neutral. Mine won't go in neutral without the key at least turned a little bit. That still won't go in neutral. I have to have it all the way forward, almost to the start position, in order to go into neutral. Now, if you can get your car into neutral, you might be able to start the car that way. And if your ignition still won't move at all, and it won't turn or tumble at all for you, if you have a spare key, try your spare key, because your key that you're using right now, the teeth on your key might be a little bit worn out and it's not pushing the right things on the tumbler. So you have little teeth in there. Each one of these high points moves a piece inside of your tumbler and allows your ignition to move. So if you have a spare key, try your spare key and see if that gets it to move as well. Now, if you try your spare key and that doesn't work, there's a good possibility you need to replace the tumbler in your car. You said it was a 2006 Saab or 2005 Saab? Can't remember exactly, but tumblers wear out eventually, and that's a whole new issue. If your tumbler wears out, generally you have to take apart everything in here to get to them. Sometimes you get lucky and you can pop the cap off, and there's a way that you can turn it and pull the whole tumbler out, and then you'll get a new key with a new tumbler. Okay, so if you can't get it in neutral, that means you can't get your key forward enough to even do this. All right, so if you can't get your key even forward enough to do that, you might have to replace the tumbler. Is your key a chipped key, or is it a key that looks like this? These still can have chips in them, but either way, if your spare key doesn't work, then you might have to switch out your tumbler completely. Do you have a spare key to try? Okay, no spare key. So more than likely, you're going to have to swap out that tumbler. You can do it yourself. Like I said, sometimes there's a way where you can pop this off. And here, there's usually a pin or a hole or something that allows you to rotate this and then pull the whole tumbler out. And then when you put the new tumbler in, you'll have a new key that goes with the tumbler. And that'll solve the issue of getting your tumbler to move forward. So unfortunately, that's what it sounds like your issue might be, is that your tumbler has gone bad on you. And since you don't have a spare key to help you with that, that's probably your only method to try to fix that, is to replace your tumbler. Sometimes you have to take apart the entire console to get to your tumbler. Like if I was going to replace mine, I would probably have to take apart everything up here on the top. Probably have to disconnect some stuff on the bottom, get into these holes and unscrew, and really open everything up here to get to what I needed to open up in here. If you're lucky though, there's a way that you might be able to pop that cap off and find a way where this rotates, and then you can pop the whole tumbler out, slide a new tumbler in. If you can't do it yourself, it really depends on the area that you're in, but I would guesstimate $150 to $200 if you're in the States. I think $150, $200 is probably a fair price. Some people might say that with your car, they have to replace the whole steering column, which is everything from here down inside underneath your hood. They might tell you have to replace the entire steering column, and if that's the case, your entire steering column is probably going to be a $400 or $500 repair, maybe more. Look around on YouTube, obviously, and see if there's any videos on replacing the tumbler for your year car, and check some forums and see if anybody else has had that problem. Nice. That's freaking awesome. You got it. How'd you get it? I'm starting up this lawnmower. Awesome, dude. I'm stoked that worked for you. That's usually what I try to do. So when that neutral thing happens, that's usually because something locked up somewhere in your steering wheel or in your drive, if you're parked on a hill, something of that nature. Not a problem, man. I'm glad it worked out for you. I'm glad you don't have to pay for a lengthy, expensive repair. Yeah, so if you're parked on a hill or something, that can mess up your neutral thing. It doesn't hurt your car. It can cause the effect that you had if you're parked on a hill or something helped. But the neutral helping you is freaking great, dude. I love that helped you. Yeah, that's freaking awesome that you don't have to worry about paying for a more expensive repair. All right, well, I'm glad that that helped you, and I appreciate you swinging by, checking out the channel, leaving some comments and stuff. I'm going to go back to eating my dinner and getting some work done around my house. Really glad that that helped you out, though. I don't know about Lifesaver, but you are much welcome. So again, thank you for swinging by. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your car going good, brother. And the other two people in here, Spike and I don't know who else. Appreciate you guys checking in and leaving a couple comments in there too. Y'all have a good one. Thanks, guys.